So now you put Alexa right on that shelf.
Sorry, I don't...
I'm not talking to you. Welcome back to Fix It with Sherman. Today we're going to fix something that is really old, the oldest thing in the house. It is a 1945 radio. This was actually given to me by my uncle. And it's a little beat up, the outside's a little beat up. We're not fixing that today. What we're going to fix is we're going to take this little piece of junk that's on the glass here when it was probably moved at one time, like the sticky stuff, and we're going to fix the front of this. And we'll show you how to do both of them. So a lot of time everybody has something stuck on glass or something smooth like this. This was an old sticker, so I'm going to peel that off. But there's always like a little residual, like sticky stuff on there. I'm going to show you a quick way how to get that stuff off. And I bet you have it in your house. WD-40. If it's ever sticky, and that's on drywall or anything like that, just put a little bit on a rag. It comes right off. Now to the bigger job. We're going to replace all of this on the front. All of this is, what is that, 70 years old? Yeah, that's why I'm in radio, I can't add. In those times when we can't add, you have a drink of beer. So we're going to replace all this on the front, and we're going to make this work once again, but in a modern way. So obviously this is all pretty old. It even says 11/19/1945. All of this wiring, I mean, there's holes in it, there's cracks. I would never plug this in because this is an insane fire hazard. But we are going to make it work again. You're gonna see how coming up here. So what we need to do first is we need to remove where the speaker is because we have to get at the fabric that's on the front. So we're gonna take out some screws. Screws I haven't seen in a while. An actual flathead screw. All right, so we gotta take a whole bunch of these flathead screws out, but we gotta cut this wire first. It pains me to do it since it's been on here for 70 years, but we are not gonna reuse this wire because it's way too dangerous. There's power that comes through here and it energizes this transformer, which I haven't seen a transformer on a speaker ever. So we're just gonna cut that because we're not going, look at how that just, probably asbestos all on that. So let's just not breathe it in. So we're gonna take off these screws. You can see it. That screw was put in 1945. There's a reason why they don't use flatheads anymore. They suck. 1945 technology. The hell with flatheads. In that case, we didn't have to take a flathead off. You have a beer. All right, we got our last stupid flathead out. So now this is gonna come out for the first time. And there it is. Look at that, the covering's all right on the wood, which is actually better than what I thought because I thought it was all glued onto the front of the radio, which would have been more pain in the butt to get off. So this is perfect. Sometimes you get lucky. We got lucky. So now we just take the old speaker off because it's screwed on here. There's one. The last time that this was off was not long after Pearl Harbor, which is insane to think about. But it worked for a long time. Look at all the cobwebs on that. So I have these screws on the back here. I took the bolts off. That's where the speaker was. So I'm starting to take off the fabric. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is the other end of the bolt. Look at the detail on a bolt that you have never seen because it was covered by all of this fabric. They even cared about the detail about the stuff you couldn't see back in 1945. So we're going to take this fabric off. Since it's been on there so long, it comes off very easy. Again, lucking out. We'll remove all of this. Now we got a blank slate, which is perfect. Got to sand off some of the junk. It's been on there for a while. So you might be wondering, how am I going to make this work again? We don't have a speaker. I cut that off, and I already said that I'm not going to plug that in because we're going to make this radio, built in 1945, modern with this. Alexa. We're going to place Alexa inside there. So what we need to do now is make a shelf for Alexa so you can talk to a 1945 radio and have it play the drive on Alexa whenever you want. So we're going to build a shelf for Alexa, right? I'm sorry, Alexa's right there too. Shh.
That's okay.
Not ready yet. So we're going to make a shelf for her. Well, It's another version of her. I put it, oh, here it is, right here. So we're gonna have this right here. So we're gonna make a shelf. So let's make it a measurement here. About 15.5 short, but I'm gonna make it so I can have it removable if I ever do wanna put a speaker back in this. If let's say I wanna put it back to a radio, probably won't happen, but you never know. So I'm gonna keep it so I can make it be able to be taken off. Remember how I put the freezer chest on rollers? Everything's on rollers. Now it can cut. There's one, we need two. So we put those two pieces together right here. I just put it in a clamp to hold it so I can pre-drill some holes, because if you just go and shoot a screw in like that, it's gonna split the board, and then you're gonna have to go get about 9 more of these because you'll get ticked off and swear. We'll do it Mike Holmes' way. We'll do it right the first time. This is what's going to hold our Alexa. And this little bit countersinks your screws, so when you screw the screws in, they go in perfectly. And it looks like you meant to do it. And then it's flush. It looks nice. I mean, the least I can do is make something that you're not going to see look good, considering they made that so well in 1945. I mean, for God's sakes, they made screws that had decorations on the end that you couldn't even see. Least I can do is countersink the screws. So we're going to screw the shelf on right here. This is the back side, and this is where the shelf's going to be, where we're going to put the Alexa. So let's screw it in. And if we measured right, the screw didn't come out on the other side. I'll get this ready just in case. Let's drink it anyway. So we need to find a fabric that's going to cover this now that kind of looks to the time period of 1945. So where do you go? You go to Walmart. That's where you go, because they have fabric that looks just like 1945. Look at that. $4. I got 2 yards, which is more than enough to cover this. So let's put the fabric on this, and we're almost scot-free. So this fabric's way too big, so what we're going to do is just going to roughly cut it to size right now, just so it's not all in the way, so we can glue it and not have to fight it the entire time. So we have some spray adhesive, and we're just going to spray it on this part. We're not going to get it on the sides. We're just going to get it where we want the fabric. So now we're going to stretch it on there and try to get it straight. So you're not going to see a whole lot of it. You're only going to see parts of it. Just smooth it all out. So now we just have all this stuff hanging off the side. We just trim that off. Looks a little bit better than the one from 1945. Let's put it on. All right. Sadly, we got to put these back in. So now you put Alexa right on that shelf.
Sorry,
I'm not talking to you. And that is how you fix a 1945 radio. But no 1945 radio ever had the ability to do this. Alexa, play 97.1 FM The Drive.
The Drive 97.1 FM from Brian's Tune-In.
Not bad for a 75-year-old radio. Salute.